created last year is not listed as a standing committee, it's a special committee. So it's still the same. It's yearly, appointed by the mayor. And that may be something you want to keep membership on more than 1 year. It's up to you. Finance committee, you can make it a standing committee if you like, but and I believe in the village it was a standing committee at one point for several years, and it was determined that it wasn't a necessary committee. So since it's in its, can you have a re-infancy? We're redoing it, so perhaps you want to keep it as a special committee, but that's something to think about in your rules of council going forward, whether you want to make that a standing committee or not. And I think, anyone have any questions on committees or commissions that I didn't address?
I'll just point out that, did we pass it out, the planning commission memo?
I did.
Okay. Laura passed out a memo this evening that she created regarding the necessity and the language in the Ohio Revised Code pointing out legalities involving the need for a planning commission. That's on your desk for this evening. And that is brought about by, that memo was brought about by the request of a council member who wanted to know whether or not it was really necessary to have a planning commission. So just to make sure that we were covering our bases, I asked Laura to prepare a memo to that effect to address that concern. So the facts are there for council to consider as we proceed with committee appointments, etc. I'm going to start with the nominations from council members for vice mayor, because that very well may have an impact on who serves on what other committees. Somebody may not be able to serve on multiple committees for their own personal reasons. So this time, I'd first like to thank Tim Rosser for his service in the last year as vice mayor. We worked really well together. One of the things that Laura did not point out, that I'm not sure she was even aware of, but try to stay in touch with Tim on some of the day-to-day issues that happen here that, God forbid in the event something were to happen to me suddenly, and Tim were in a position to take over as mayor, he wouldn't be walking into the situation completely blindsided. So Tim has had the benefit of some of the day-to-day personnel information, just in preparation for a worst-case scenario. And that's a practice that, unless Laura tells me not to proceed in that fashion, I would continue with in the future with the vice mayor in 2011. Anything could happen, and if for some reason I were to be unavailable for a prolonged period, it'd be that person's advantage to have some idea what goes on here in the building on a day-to-day basis. So, with that being said, I would open the floor to council for discussions regarding the nominations for the role of vice mayor for Amelia Village 2011.
I just want to ask who's interested in being vice mayor.
Well, I'm nominated you then.
Okay. So you do it, I'll take it.
We have a first for Bob Pollock as vice mayor.
Second.
A second, any discussion, any questions?
Did you second that?
No. Somebody seconded it the other day.
I
I
thought
first did
you-
you.
Oh, okay. Okay, anyway,
Question or discussions? You have questions?
no, I'm just
Ready to
naming
vote?
the pot.
All right. We'll move to a roll call with no discussion.
Derek?
Yay.
Todd?
Yay.
Renee?
Yay.
Yay. Bob?
I'll abstain.
Chuck?
I'll vote yay.
Let the record show that was a fuzzy yay.
That's a slow comer.
A fuzzy.
Thank you all, appreciate it.
Thank you, Bob. Looking forward to working with you.
Me too.
The next would be committee appointments for the Finance Committee, and I guess I've really bounced this around in my head quite a bit, and I think it makes a lot of sense to stay with the standing committee, not because of who they are, but because the fact that they've been in place for a year and they've spent the last year examining the numbers, etc. That being said, I'm not completely closed-minded to the idea of changing membership if someone has either a personal concern or if someone has an objection to that effect. While it is my appointment, I can see some logic in it both ways, appointing a fresh perspective, and then I can also see the benefit in having had the longevity of the last year of overlooking the records and working with Bill. So at this time, I would open the floor to council just for any discussion or input on this before I finalize my decision.
Well, I'd like to blow our own horn as a finance committee. It does take a while to get started, to get traction, and I don't think it's capable, and Tim or Derek can jump in there, I don't think you would get a full benefit by spending a year in training and then move out, and you're going to have to spend another year in training and move out. It just, I'd like to see the committee stay, but I'm not against reappointing different members, but I think the bulk of the membership should stay as it is, because it does take a while to get adjusted to what's going on. Neither one of us has a personal budget at home that goes to anything like this. So it takes a while to get to it.
Mayor, I agree with you. I think we should stay the way we are. Derek's got great input, and Bob has good input. And right now we're a well-oiled machine, I believe. Right, going into the new year.
Input from anyone else? With no further input, I think we'll go ahead and proceed with the Finance Committee remaining intact as it is. If any time it becomes a hardship for any member, give as much notice as possible. Ultimately, all of the information reviewed by the Finance Committee is made available to council. And you're certainly welcome to attend Finance Committee meetings and ask questions at any time. So, unless there are any vocal objections to such, I'd like to keep the Finance Committee intact. I think that it's a tough job, Finance Committee is. You got a pile of beans this tall, and you got a pile of bills that tall.
Yeah.
And so working on trying to stretch it and trying to find ways to continue to provide services, a high level of services, et cetera, is going to continue to be challenging. So I think it will serve us well to have a committee in place that has been reviewing the numbers closely and had the benefit of meeting with Bill for explanation of what's enclosed. So that being said, I would maintain the Finance Committee of Bob Pollitt, Tim Rosser, and Derek Campbell. Who is currently serving as the chairperson of the committee? Is there a chairperson of the committee?
We really never assigned one.
Is there a chairperson required?
They select it.
He's sort of the unknown.
Okay.
chairman.
And we are we up to date on minutes? Okay.
He's the minute man. I do care.
Those are just the things that we just need to make sure we're on top of those things.
Yeah.
I've seen the minutes come in, but I didn't know if we were current. Let's just make sure we stay on top of that because they are public meetings. We need to have a record of them and what's being discussed. So thank you very much. Next item is the Planning Commission, and Tim has been serving as the Planning Commission liaison unless it's some sort of a hardship for him. It'd be my preference to keep Tim in that role as he's been active with it for a while.
It's fine.
Okay. one of the things we are doing is, there are times when we don't have any agenda items. And like tomorrow night, we have nothing on the agenda. I don't see the need to bring people up here to sit and look at each other. So when we don't have anything on the agenda or anything serious to discuss, we won't have a meeting. So that being said, the next committee appointment is for the Recreation Commission. And Derek has been serving in the capacity of Recreation Liaison, although the Recreation Commission has been basically inactive during 2010 due to a lack of a quorum. Although I've been told, and Julie's got 2 letters of interest that have come in the last few days.
Yeah.
So what I was going to ask is, Derek, I don't know what your schedule is like. If it would be a continued hardship for you to be a member of the liaison.
I'd like to remain so.
Okay. And if I'm going to have her give you these letters of interest, if you want to
Okay.
contact them, we can conduct the interviews.
All right.
And you might want to reestablish contact with your existing members.
Okay.
I think you have a good core group of people there, but there's just, you know what the story
Sure.
is. So maybe we
Okay.
can just keep me posted, and she'll give you those letters of interest. So that finalizes the existing committees and the vice mayor. Before I move on, does any council member have any desire, question, idea in mind for any other committee that would need to be appointed? Something that we're lacking, something that needs to be looked at? I'm open to input.
I'd like to see something about business development for Main Street. I just, I've received a couple phone calls from people, what have we been doing to help develop business in our business district? And, I can't tell them that we've done a whole lot, so I'd like to see about maybe forming a committee to work on business development.
This is not intended to be a sarcastic remark at all. It's going to come off that way, but it's not intended to be that way. What would the Business Development Committee do?
I'll try to get the word out there that we're here. We have available lots and space for development. Just try and sell the village of Amelia.
Maybe advertise a little. Like, we got this corner here, it would fit something or other, whatever, in other words, like you could kick it in the air and then just sort of bat it around and something maybe shake out to where, something such and such would be ideal for that spot right there. Then you
Yeah,
could
develop contacts with.
Yeah, then you can contact somebody. And
I know
say,
somebody
"Hey,
now is looking to locate in the village, so put out feelers for what's available and things. So
I think it's a good idea.
Along that same line, and I don't know where this would fall in the realm of the committee work or who, us as a council together, but I had been thinking along those same lines, but not as much as getting the business in, but cleaning up Main Street. Trying to get the businesses involved and, get out there on a weekend, clean up Main Street. And I don't know where we'd fall in, getting some uniformity. Does that make sense?
On Main Street?
Yes.
Well,
And I know a lot of that, until some of those homes are sold, they're residential, and all of that. But